Hi, my name is Teresa Malloy and I'm president of the NIRI New York chapter, and welcome to the NIRI New York Minute in partnership with Business Wire. I recently had an opportunity to talk to Darin Arita, who is Senior Vice President of Investor Relations at Voya and NIRI New York board member, about his transition from the sell side to investor relations. We also talked about how Darin manages and prioritizes his time with the buy and the sell side. Stay tuned to hear what Darin had to say. Darin, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Teresa.
Good to see you. So your background is very interesting. You didn't start your career in investor relations. Can you talk a little bit about the transition from the sell side to your role at Voya?
I was working as a sell-side equity analyst at Deutsche Bank, and ING Group contacted me to join the company, to help separate the U.S. business, to execute the IPO, and also to build and lead the investor relations team. I'd really been enjoying my experience as a sell-side equity analyst. I'd been doing it for 10 plus years. I enjoyed the research, enjoyed engaging with the investors, but I thought this would be a unique opportunity to be a part of a significant transformation of a company and also to build new skills. And it's been a fascinating journey with the IPO, the rebrand to Voya Financial, as well as to see us deliver more value to all of our stakeholders.
Terrific. So in this transition, I'm sure that there was some on-the-job training that occurred. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, one of the first projects that I had, and this was, when I joined, we still weren't public yet at Voya. The project was to prepare us for quarterly earnings calls. I had to develop all of the materials, the press release, the slide presentations, the prepared remarks, the Q&A prep there, as well as to execute a mock earnings call. So we had our management, behave just as if we were public, doing the call itself, and we had a whole Q&A session as well with a set of mock analysts who would be firing questions at the management over the phone there. And we learned a lot through this process in terms of which members of management should be answering questions, how many of them should be, as well as something as simple as getting the right audio technology. And we did this for 6 consecutive quarters. And we learned things all throughout the way, continued to improve the materials that we have and refine them, the materials and the messaging. And I'd say that this helped us really get ready to go public there and to be able to talk with the investor community. And it's helped us ever since as well. And one of the key inputs to all of this has been the IRO community. So many investor relations professionals I interacted with in the beginning provided their thoughts on how to go about things and shared their best practices. And I have to say, the investor relations community is probably one of the best business communities in the world. Everyone's so helpful, and I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Well, it sounds like there was a great deal of collaboration within Voya that was helpful, as well as your colleagues outside of Voya that helped you do through this transition. So I want to talk a little bit about about how you prioritize your time with the buy side and the sell side. Coming from the sell side, you must have some interesting perspectives on that. And then also, I know you'll be moderating a panel about this topic on January 20th on behalf of NIRI.
It's going to be a great panel. It's very unique and timely. Rarely do you have a panel where you've got investor relations officers, the buy side investors, the sell side analysts, all on one, answering the same questions. And it'll be very timely as we've looked at the NIRI New York, the recent survey of its members there, and we're addressing on many of the key topics that the membership cares about, and such as maximizing one's return on targeting efforts there. In terms of the buy side and the sell side, for me, those are both important constituencies. So it's not about figuring out how much time to allocate between one versus the other, but really trying to figure out how we can work together towards our collective needs. I think this is going to be a great panel for all of us to learn how we can help each other become more effective in this ecosystem that all of us spend so much of our time in.
Absolutely. Well, Darin, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. January 20th, mark your calendars for our panel that Darin will be moderating. And on behalf of the NIRI New York chapter, this is Teresa Malloy signing off.